Hey guys, this week we are talking about Josh's winning trip, chasing royals, TTOs, and more, so stick around.
Welcome to the Crap Vegas podcast.
Vegas, here we come.
Vegas!
Here are your hosts, Chris and Josh.
Hello everyone, and welcome to episode number 83 of the Crap Vegas podcast. I am Chris, he's Josh. Josh, what's new?
Well, let's see. What's new? I did a little kind of light car shopping over the weekend.
Ooh, fancy. I hate the process of car shopping.
Oh yeah, this was not really a car shopping trip. It was a more of an expedition to see about a particular kind of vehicle. Okay. And this is the Ineos Grenadier that I think is like this incredible looking vehicle that I really shouldn't buy except for all my off-roading trips.
Oh, there's so many of those that you take all the time.
In my camping trips.
Mostly to Leavenworth, correct?
Right. Leavenworth is in the news right now, not for good reason. So.
Oh, okay. Well, we won't talk about that. Josh, you and I couldn't be any different on this. Josh has been telling me all about his interest in this car, and I think it's the ugliest car I've ever seen. I told him if he wants it, that's terrific, and I support him, but it's just not the type of car I would ever buy. I thought you were originally going to say that you were looking at like a Rolls Royce for your house, though.
Oh, I would love that. Actually, I don't know.
I don't think I would.
No, I don't think I would
practical.
either. No. I mean, if you're going to have a Rolls Royce, you've got to have a driver.
Yes, that would go a long way. I've never had a driver before.
Other than occasional trips to the airport or if Wynn picks us up.
Yeah, that's a little different, but no, that's pretty awesome though, Josh. Hopefully that all works out for you and you have a new car before you know it.
We'll see. I would say it's 20-80 or 80-20 against.
Okay. Yeah. I understand.
But,
you never know.
What about you?
Josh. Next trip, you may hit it huge, and then, or maybe we may hear in a minute about the
That's true. We
absolutely
could hear
amazing
that.
Wynn trip that you had.
Right.
And you just have so much disposable income. Now you have to spend it on that car.
That must be it.
No, nothing crazy going on in my life, Josh. We're hitting the busiest part of summer, I think, for both of us. You got vacations coming. I have vacations coming. We're just trying to squeeze everything in as quickly as we can.
Yep, we're actually recording this a few days earlier than we normally would because we have vacations and things coming up, and sometimes that's the hardest thing, and we've talked about it before, but it's getting schedules to align, and we want to continue to be regular, just like your Metamucil.
We never missed an episode release date. Yeah, we use a lot of fiber, and we just keep the show going the way that's supposed to.
Right.
Okay, Josh, with that being said, let's let people know how to get a hold of us. Okay, you can send us an email. That's podcast@crapvegas.com. You can join us over on our Facebook group, crapvegas.com/Facebook. You can find us over on Twitter.
X.
He's at Vegas Duffy. I'm at Small Whale 13. Or the show page is at Crap Vegas. Or we'd love to have you join us over on Patreon. That is patreon.com/crapvegas. Still got that free 1-week trial over there, so you can go check it out. Listen to us ad-free. It's just an amazing place to be. Previous episode feedback. Josh, we got an email from Amanda about our crazy video poker luck. She says, guys, I loved hearing about your recent trip, especially the absolutely insane luck that Chris had. My husband and I have been playing VP together for more than 10 years and still have not hit one at this point. We both laughed our ass off when we heard about Josh's accidental holding of the unnecessary kicker with 3 of a kind, and it reminded us of a drunk mistake that I made once. Playing normal, 1-line, double-double bonus at Paris, and both of us were pretty drunk. She was dealt ace, deuce, deuce, deuce. She was dealt a full house, aces full of deuces, which is great, she says. I was so drunk, I actually only held the aces in a single deuce. My boyfriend at the time didn't have a chance to yell at me about the full house.
Oh, she got the kicker. I know where this is going.
Until it was too late, but I ended up drawing 2 more aces to grab 4 aces with the kicker.
With the kicker, right.
Good things can happen to dumb people. Absolutely love the show. Keep up the great work, Amanda. So Josh, just like you, she held the wrong damn thing, but actually came out ahead by doing so.
Thanks, Amanda. And thanks for saying that. Sometimes you do the right thing unintentionally.
It's a plus EV move sometimes. You just don't know it at the time.
I'll tell you, I've talked about this before. We'll talk about it again through the show, but I have just, my love for sitting and having some drinks and playing video poker has grown exponentially. I was never one to drink at a craps table. Like Chris when Chris used to drink more when we first met, he would always be drinking bourbon at the craps table. I would be having Diet Cokes and things. And I still don't like to drink at a craps table. Maybe it's because I'm standing up.
That could be,
worry
that
about
could be it,
falling
Josh.
over or whatever. But I really just love sitting and playing video poker and drinking. Different than slots. I like to do it occasionally with slots, but I don't know. There's just something that goes well with video poker.
I guess so, Josh. And here I am thinking back to like episodes, I don't know how long ago, maybe like 10, 15, 20, when Boring Jack was a topic on here for a while. And we used to give Jack such a hard time for just sitting at the VP bar and playing. And now you have literally become him.
I was actually, Chris, I'm not kidding. I was actually thinking about that and mentioning that in the show. I was going to say we, but if you want to say me, I have become Boring Jack.
Oh my gosh. You even play craps differently now than you used to, Josh. If you start betting only on the 6 or 8 or making come bets, I'm
turned
done
into
with
a
you.
3-point Molly player,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
By the way, speaking of Boring Jack, Jack corrected me on some video poker plays that I mentioned on the last show.
That's very Jack-like, yes.
Exactly, right. And I think I said, I don't even know, but don't quote me on what I said on video poker last time. If you're playing Ultimate X and you get dealt a full house, I think I said you're always supposed to keep it. I'm not sure if that's true or not. If the multiplier is high enough, go to videopoker.com and see what you're supposed to do.
Absolutely. That makes sense to me. We received an email from Ryan about shows. He said, absolutely love listening to your trip reports as you guys always have a new show, restaurant, or activity I haven't done, and I appreciate the recommendations. You guys are extremely solid providing honest feedback on your experiences, and I have a tendency to trust you a lot more than some other Vegas shows that seem like they're getting paid to say things. That being said, I was a little surprised that was I love you, but Josh.
Oh, that's right. The butt is coming, right?
That
is it a
being
big
said, but I was a little surprised to hear about Dita Von Teese. I thought with it being a burlesque show, it would be topless, and you were telling me that it isn't. Is it worth going to over a show like Zombie Burlesque or one of the ex-burlesque shows over at Caesars Properties? I'm having trouble buying tickets to a burlesque show without nudity. Thanks for all you guys do. Terrific show, Ryan.
Ryan, that is a really, really good question. I don't think it is. So to your question, I think I would rather pay, if I'm paying for a seat, I think I had a lot more fun. No offense to Dita Von Teese. If I had to pay for a ticket, I mean, Dita Von Teese was great, but my tickets were comped. Our tickets were comped. I had to pay for drinks and things like that, which changes the feel of the show and that kind of thing. If I'm paying for a ticket, yeah, I would pay to see Zombie Burlesque easily over Dita Von Teese. No, it was a great show. It's a great atmosphere. I think if you're there and you want kind of the nicer, you're dressing up, you're seeing a fancier show, you're having nicer cocktails, it's really kind of part of the experience. But if you're just going to see...
It's a classier burlesque show?
Yeah, it's a much classier show. It's a much classier show than Zombie Burlesque. There's no Jell-O shots.
Isn't a classy burlesque show, isn't that an oxymoron, though? At
Well,
least in my eyes, when I go to see a burlesque show, Josh, I expect there to be nudity and raunchiness.
Well, I think that's Ryan's point,
That's where I'm
right?
going.
So it kind of, if you want a classy burlesque show, I mean, I think Dita Von Teese really embraces people of all physical attributes and that kind of thing. I think that's
very
part
inclusive.
of her thing, right?
Okay.
So if you're into that, then it's great. It really is a great show. The sets are amazing. The production's amazing. The music is cool. All that kind of stuff. But if you just are going for your kind of basic, kind of raunchy, kind of raucous burlesque show, Zombie Burlesque, I would still pick.
Okay. So Ryan, you and I will go check out these other shows that we like that actually have the nudity in it. Josh can go watch Vita.
I just said I'm going to
Vita
Zombie
Von
Burlesque
Teese.
too.
Okay, Josh, let's keep it moving. Okay, so we mentioned it last episode, but after I went home Sunday morning, Josh, we got done playing some coffee dice together, which was awesome. I had hit my royal flush this morning. I'm out of there, but you're sticking around because you have another 2-3 nights in Vegas staying at Wynn.
Yes, my party continued. My party did not end when Chris left.
Thank goodness. Well, maybe not thank goodness, but at least when you left Venetian Palazzo last week, you were a significant loser.
I was. I won
so
a
you
little.
needed a restart. You needed a new credit line.
Fortunately,
to
I had one. Yeah, exactly. I think I mentioned this on the last show, but after you left, went back to Venetian, played a little more video poker, and did end up making a slight comeback on, I got some full houses and whatnot on video poker at the end at VP. So when it was time to move over to Wynn, walked from Palazzo over to Wynn with my bags.
Which is a very short walk. I've made it before.
Totally doable with luggage if you're not overwhelmed with luggage. But if you just have a carry-on and a backpack or something like that, it's an easy walk. Even if it's 100 degrees outside, you're only outside for 3 minutes. It's not worth getting a taxi or even arranging transportation through the property, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I had to make that walk last year when we were at F1. Remember, I had to come
That's right.
from over at Venetian Palazzo over to Wynn just to catch a taxi.
That was because you got dropped off, right? Or picked up
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did too, now that you mention it.
Yeah.
So when I got to Wynn, it was the middle of the day. I was there with Marilyn, our listener and patron Marilyn. Michael Traeger of Travelzork was there. And of course, my room wasn't ready. And it was just a basic Tower Suites room. I was so disappointed.
What time
But it was
it?
like noon or something.
Okay. I mean, that
You know,
happens
It
sometimes.
was
And
Memorial Day weekend, and it was fine.
well, at least they didn't just offer you a smoking room, Josh.
Though they did not offer me a smoking room, nor did they offer me the parlor suite or the salon suite.
You should have said, my buddy was just in 3011. Can I just have his room or whatever?
So I did, though, Chris. So keep in mind, I have not been to Wynn, and I had not been to Wynn in over a year. So
it's been a long
I have
time.
no status. I'm not Wynn Black status anymore. I wasn't Wynn Platinum. I wasn't anything. Our host gave me my corporate offer, which wasn't bad. But so, Chris, I went to the RFB room, and I wasn't involved anymore. I wasn't invited.
You weren't allowed to check in there, were you?
Now, they did, to Wynn's credit, and Wynn will do this kind of thing. They did let me check in there, and they were very helpful. But they were politely said, this,
What did
this
she
is
say?
not the place for you.
Sir, you don't belong here, but I'll
Right.
help you.
I know, something like that. Yes.
Okay, got you.
And I even went, my room wasn't ready. So they said, we'll call you. And I tried to politely say, do you want me to come back here? Or should I go out to the regular Tower Suites front desk? And she said, you can come back here. So,
Oh, that was
Yeah.
really nice of her.
so I got let in the room again, which, close your ears if you're listening and you're a Wynn employee. I did take a couple Diet Coke since I was in the
Oh,
room that
jeez.
locks.
You're not even supposed to be in there, and you still went to the little food and drink section.
Just for a couple Diet Cokes. I didn't bleed Wynn dry.
I think in all the times I've stayed at Wynn, Josh, I've never actually gone down to the RFB lounge there and hung out for more than like a minute or two. I'll grab
Yeah.
a water occasionally. I've grabbed a cookie in there before. I've grabbed some like bruschetta or something as a quick snack when I was hungry,
Right.
but it's not a place that I spend a ton of time at.
No, nor me. I mean, I go for Diet Cokes occasionally, but that's really it.
Yeah. I think
And-
I'd almost rather just have the Venetian Palazzo cookies. I think that's
Yes.
it's not as
Yeah.
healthy, but it's they're still very good.
So anyway, went to Charlie's for lunch while waiting for the room with
Oh,
Michael
good.
and
I haven't
Marilyn.
had Charlie's in forever. I love that place.
I know. So we sat for the first time, I think, for me ever, other than when ordering takeout from Charlie, sat at the video poker bar at Charlie's.
Okay. Nice.
And I was a little disappointed because I've kind of gotten spoiled over Venetian Palazzo. I was a little disappointed that the video poker bar only had like one line, normal, jacks are better. I mean, I could
Yeah.
play double, but it was just one line.
Single line play, yeah.
Yeah, single line, no ultimate X, no 3-line. I was
Well,
like,
maybe
bored
that's
at it.
better though, Josh, if you're having a full meal.
Yeah,
Like maybe you don't need to
probably.
be playing $30 or $60 a pull if you're having a meal.
But what I will say is, and video poker people know this better than I do, but I was impressed with the odds. I think it was 9-5. I can't swear to it, but I was playing dollars. I think it was 9-5 at the bar, which isn't bad at a,
No, that's not bad, actually.
yeah. It could have even been 9-6. I don't remember, but I remember thinking it wasn't bad. It definitely wasn't 8-5.
Good to know. Did you get anything good to eat?
I had the chicken tenders, which I love, the sweet
Got
and
those in?
spicy chicken
Yep, very
tenders,
good.
and those are amazing. Oh, I did want to mention too, if you're playing video poker there, and they will comp drinks up to $25 a drink.
Oh, that's huge.
So you can get nice cocktails there at Charlie's at the video poker bar while you're playing.
Now, here's the big question. Will they comp a milkshake?
I didn't ask.
That's a drink. It's under
It is a drink.
$25.
I kind of doubt it.
I don't know.
Like, because
You
it's
would
not
think they'd be
alcohol
more
or
likely to give
soda.
you away the milkshake than the $20 alcoholic beverage, but
Well, they
I
want
can
to
see
get
why
you
they
drunk though, so
And one
Uh,
thing else that I think that's really nice about that, Josh, so you can play there, get your drinks comped, eat your
Mhm.
meal, and then charge it back to the room.
yes.
So it's kind of a win-win because that can all be comped off.
Yeah, that's exactly right, and that's what we did.
Okay, so you wrapped up lunch. It's Sunday afternoon. I assume that you either went and played a lot more video poker or played some slots because I know you didn't go to the craps tables.
Well, that's that's exactly right. Although I did
Okay,
play
good.
craps, so you and I had the coffee dice session. I had.
It did
I don't
not
even
go
need
well.
to. I don't even need to dwell on it too much. I did play craps 2 other times without
Ooh.
you.
I'm going to guess and say one of those times was because Rick was there.
Nope. But I did.
Wow.
I know. I did see Rick. So I went to. I don't remember now if it was Sunday or Monday, but I went specifically to look for Rick and for Jay. And I'd already seen Liz at Coffee Dice with you, but I wanted to make sure and find Rick and Jay, our two of our favorite dealers at Wynn. There's a lot, but Rick is number 1, Jay is number 2, maybe 2A, Liz
you're
is
skipping over
2A or
Liz.
2B.
No,
I know,
Liz
and
is
that's what I
number
was
2.
trying to, anyway. But
Nope, Liz is number 2. I love you, Liz. Don't let Josh hate on you.
I do too. I wanted to find Rick. Rick was in the new, so they've moved because they have the B bar and they closed the other high limit space. Rick, and I thought this might be the case, was at the new high limit table, which was in the table games high limit area where they put the high limit craps table. So I saw Rick there. I kind of peeked around the corner. I saw the dealers, nobody playing. So I went in and I gave Rick a hug, or Rick gave me a hug. And I was like,
he didn't
is
give
this
me a
okay?
hug.
I know, right?
That's bullshit.
So we chatted for a long time. I showed him some pictures of, the family or whatever. And we talked for a long time, which was cool. He didn't have anybody there. And I didn't want to get him in trouble. And we mentioned it on the last show, but we talked about him being a day one employee. And speaking of, I heard from our server at Charlie's was a day one employee. And I don't remember how the topic came up, but she was just talking about her love for Wynn. And she said, admittedly, it's a job, but she said, it's just a great place to work. And I'm really proud to be, all the various things you expect. And she said, sometimes it's a job, sure. But, anyway, so I saw Rick, we chatted for a while. Then I went and found Jay and said hello.
Honestly, Josh, I would say if I had the opportunity, I actually would prefer if Rick was on a private table like that nobody was playing on. Because one of the worst
Does he always
parts,
brings you bad luck?
No, well, I mean, he does. I don't think I ever made money with him before. But at the same time, like, people like Rick, Liz, some of those people that we play with over there, I really just want to catch up with them and know what's going on in their life, how they're doing, tell them what's going on in my life. I just want to have a conversation with them. And sometimes that does get lost at a busy craps table because you're trying to keep the dice moving. You can't talk to them too much because you got to let them do their job at the same time. So sometimes it's just nice to be able to go talk without the pressure of having to roll a die at the same time.
Yeah, it was really nice. We chatted for a little bit. Then I went and found Jay. I wanted to make sure and say hi to him.
Sure.
Anyway, played craps a couple times, played with listener John again, played with Michael Traeger for coffee dice one of the mornings, probably a few other people. I think we mentioned everybody on the last show. Didn't have any luck. I lost every time I played craps. So that's all the craps talk you'll get from me.
So craps is done now for the next 6 months, huh?
Until the next trip. I liked playing again. I played crapless and I tried to play, keep my losses limited a little bit, but still just didn't have any luck. So
I will say that Wynn is one of the few places that when I play craps, even if I get my ass handed to me, like we did Sunday morning together, I still always have a great time there.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not the case at other properties I found. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't get upset about losses or it doesn't emotionally make me sad or anything crazy like that. But Wynn is one of those places, like, I can be walking away from a table that I just lost my whole marker, smiling, laughing, thanking the dealers, and just having a great time.
Yeah. I got a hug from Janine. Did you get a hug from Janine?
I didn't get any hugs. Nobody wanted to hug me.
I don't know what to say.
Maybe I need a new cologne or something.
That must be it.
That's probably it.
So that Sunday afternoon, I did, Chris, go and try and find video poker that I wanted to play. And what I learned, and everybody that plays video poker, I'm sure, knows this already, and I kind of knew it, but really kind of getting into it more.
Becoming an expert you are.
Exactly. The different machines and the different locations, you really want to pay attention to those odds. What's the machine
pay
paying?
Tables change pretty quickly.
Because the same game, Ultimate X, 3-line, double, $1 on the Wynn floor, at least on the machine I was looking at, I think was, and I could be wrong on the exact, but the point is the difference was 8-5 on the floor, and it was 9-5, the same game in the high limit room.
Yeah. No, that's true.
I mean, I settled myself down at a machine in the high limit room. I was playing Ultimate X, 3-line, $1, so $30 a pull. I don't know if I had much luck, but I had a lot of fun doing it.
Okay. Now, Josh, what did you think of the video poker setup over at Wynn? I know where you're talking about in the high limit room when you come in and look to your right, it's the second bank back.
Yeah.
I actually really like that space over there. Now, they don't have thousands of machines or anything.
Right.
But what I liked about that area is the machines are directly square next to each other. So like, I feel like it'd be a good place for you and I to go hang out together where we could actually see what's happening on each other's screens and stuff. It's one of the things I don't like about the Palazzo high limit bar area that you like playing at is that even if we're playing next to each other, the spaces are so far apart. I have no clue what's happening on your screen. You have no clue what's happening on mine. And it's almost hard to have a conversation that the machines are so far apart.
Yes, that's very true, especially if you don't have great hearing and stuff like that. That is one of the things that's really nice at Wynn is, to your point, you could have two. In fact, I did with Michael and Marilyn a couple times.
Yeah.
Sitting, 3 people sitting together and you can all hear each other. You can definitely see the hands of the person next to you.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
No,
I liked it a lot.
I was just curious what you thought about the setup. And I played a lot of video poker out on the main floor as well, right in front of the high limit area. They have a lot of banks of video poker of all the different types. They have hot roll. They have super times pay, ultimate X. They have all the stuff that people like.
I will say I did play a little huff and even more puff. Of course I did.
That's unfortunate.
In addition to craps, I had zero luck on Wynn slots all weekend.
So it sounds like in the future, we know what you're going to be focusing on.
I could not hit a bonus to save my life at Wynn on slots. And fortunately, I didn't, I had some good luck on video poker, but that was the only place I had good luck.
Well, let's fast forward, Josh. At the end of the trip, how many tier credits had you earned? Because I think that's an interesting question.
So I got 15,000 at Wynn. So
Okay.
I made platinum. I double platinum. I didn't make as many as you because I think you got about 25,000 or so, right?
Yeah, I got a hair over 25,000.
Gotcha. So on Sunday night, we were going to meet for dinner at Pisces. But before that, met up for drinks at the Tower Suites bar.
Okay.
I had a lychee lemon drop.
Oh, sounds
And-
very fancy.
Really fancy, really good. Of course, the cocktail service at Wynn, I find, of course, you can have bad cocktail service anywhere, but cocktail service both in the high limit room and out on the main floor when I was there, and of course at the Tower Suites bar, I had no problem finding a drink the whole trip.
Now, did you sit at the actual bar top itself, or did you sit out?
No,
in
we were at
kind
one of the little
lounge area?
tables. Yeah, one of the little
Okay.
tables.
I
They
actually
bring
like
you-
sitting in the couches on the other side. I find it. I've sat over there with people before, and it's very comfortable. They always come to you and make sure if you need a drink, they get it right to you.
Yeah.
I always find it very peaceful over there.
They bring you two different kinds of, I think it was cashews. There
Yeah,
was
some
like
nuts.
a chili
Yeah.
cashew and a truffle cashew or something.
Yeah, very fancy.
So we were talking to our server and we mentioned that we were going to go to dinner at Pisces. And she said, oh, I went there recently, maybe for the grand opening or their soft
Sure.
opening with staff or who knows what it was. But she said, I had the tuna Wellington. And do you know what beef Wellington is, Chris? Have you ever had
Yes, I
beef
do.
Wellington?
I have had beef Wellington.
So my wife introduced me to beef Wellington and she likes it. And so I like it now. So the server said she had tuna Wellington. So I kind of was thinking about that. I wasn't going to have seafood at Pisces, which I know is probably bad. You should have seafood if you go to Pisces. But
Yep.
I wasn't planning. I was planning on having steak. I'd already looked at the menu and kind of fast forward a little bit. When we went to Pisces, I ended up getting the tuna Wellington, which is not what it's called. It's called something else, bluefin tuna, something or other, if you're looking at the menu.
Sure.
It was amazing. So it's basically, to get into your fancy food talk, a deconstructed Wellington. So
Okay.
the fish is not actually within the
pastry.
the
And,
pastry thing. It's kind of outside it, and the pastry thing's kind of waffly looking, and so it's different than visually than what you might think of for a beef Wellington,
Okay.
but kind of a similar. I definitely could see the essences of the Wellington.
oh, wow. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I know you're a big foodie, Josh. I mean,
Totally, yes.
I
but
mean,
I
you were
did
totally
wanna-
breaking this down.
I did want to talk about Pisces, Chris.
Okay.
So you've talked about, I can't remember if it was on this show or one of the Patreon shows, but the decor at Pisces and just decor at Wynn in general. I think that was our last CVP show where we talked about the Wynn earnings call.
I think you're right. My company's done a lot of work in that Pisces space.
Yeah.
So I saw some renderings of it before, and I also saw their price list on what they paid for everything they put in there, and it was absolutely insane.
Well, let me tell you, they got their money's worth. I don't
Good.
think I've ever been in a visually more beautiful space than Pisces. The floor is this mosaic tile kind of thing that has fish and swordfish and whatever throughout it. And that floor goes out into the outside where the Lake of Dreams is, all the way. It goes from inside the restaurant to outside. It is like nothing I've ever seen. It goes all the way into the bathrooms. It is, they spent, I don't know how much money they spent on the decor of this restaurant, but a fortune. Anyway, I had one of the best drinks, the best cocktails I've ever had before. And Chris, I have to read you the actual drink itself.
The description,
Yes, to see what you
Okay.
would think.
I'm ready.
It's called the Serena. I think it's probably after Sirens, the Homer thing. I'm not back into my Greek, my Greek
gotcha.
stories, but yeah. Okay, so the description from the menu is, this ethereal, silky sour is as smooth and enchanting as the siren's song. An artful blend of Lux Sprite flavors with citrus, ripe fruits, and the glow of honeyed warmth. Grey Goose essences, strawberry and lemongrass vodka, passion fruit cordial, wild thyme honey, pineapple, Amalfi citrus, and clarified Greek yogurt.
Wow. It's a lot of stuff to have in there.
So $24, because I'm looking right at the menu, $24. I had
Okay.
3 during dinner.
Of course you did.
I could have had 8. Like, they were amazing.
Were they silky smooth, Josh, and just went right
they
down?
were, yeah. I couldn't taste the alcohol at all, which is probably why I could have had 8 and I had 3. And yeah.
They really appreciate that, yeah.
But so dinner, by the way, was with Michael Maryland and Anthony Curtis of
cool.
Las Vegas Advisor, which was really cool. We got to chat with him for a long time. Really fun dinner companion. I had met him briefly at Zorkfest last year, a couple times ago, but really fun to hang out with him. He talked about some projects he's got going at Las Vegas Advisor, all that kind of fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So overall, I wanted to say about Pisces, and I mentioned this on our last CVP show last week for the patrons, but I think that Pisces, Chris, is now the best restaurant I've ever eaten at in Vegas. I was that impressed with Pisces.
That's huge praise from you.
Yeah. I mean, the tuna Wellington, whatever it was called, the bluefish tuna thing, was amazing. The drinks were amazing. The decor was amazing. You were at the Lake of Dreams. We had a seat outside. The weather was perfect. We were looking right, and not only at the lake, but looking right at Palazzo. So I had my favorite view.
Oh, wow.
I could see the Palazzo Tower. And the service was great. It really is. And I didn't get, my meal was comped, and we went back to my room and it was comped off. So that, that's a point. And by the way, it was $834 for the 4 of us. So it wasn't, and that was with some cocktails, no fancy wine.
That's terrible, honestly.
No, $200 a person. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad. Not for Vegas.
Anyway, just a really, really, really terrific experience. Then went back and played a little video poker, had a whole bunch of 4 of a kinds. I think I had a queen at like a queen's full of something at a 10X. So that's always fun to get on, and I had a couple 2s full with the kickers and made a nice comeback on that Sunday night. So and I played till like midnight, Chris.
Oh, wow. You staying up that late. I mean, usually, gosh, I'm the East Coaster, but even you usually by about 10 o'clock, you're like, I'm done.
I know. This is what happens when you're gone. Just wild Josh comes out.
I know. Geez, I
drinking the Serena cocktails and
having more and more drinks. You're a video poker expert. You're going to all these fancy restaurants. But that is really interesting, Josh, to hear about Pisces, because we'd heard some good things since they opened. And that was a space that originally had a completely different concept.
Yeah.
They lost the chef. They had to pivot at the last moment, completely change the design of the restaurant. And it sounds like they pivoted in the absolute correct direction.
Yeah. So Monday morning, I played a little craps, as I mentioned, coffee dice with Michael Traeger. We didn't make any money. I went and played video poker. I was losing on video poker most of the day. And we had dinner plans for the night, which I'll tell you about. But so at one point, Chris, I got to running kind of close to out of my line of credit, which tells you it wasn't going well.
It sounds like prophylactic TTO time for Josh. I know what you do.
Yes, exactly. That's right. It was TTO time. I wasn't quite out of money, but I wanted to be protected. So I went up to I'm playing the video poker in the high limit room. I went up to the desk. I asked the guy, can I get a TTO? Well, first I asked, do I need to go talk to a host or whatever? Our host was off that day. So he said, no, we can do it for you. He said, I just need to make some calls and things. And I said, okay, great. So I went back and playing video poker. And lo and behold, I'm playing Ultimate X 3-line. I had gone up to $2 a pull, but I got a straight flush at a 10X.
Oh, wow. Great.
So that was really cool. So that was a $5,000 hit.
$5,000 hit. Yeah, for sure.
So just then the guy comes back to tell me my TTO has been approved. And did I need a marker? And I said, well, actually, as a matter of fact, I don't. I did when I came up and asked you, but I just had this nice straight flush. And he said, okay, thanks. It's here for the whole trip if you need it. So he goes away. I keep playing. I'm playing $2, 3-line, Ultimate X. So that's $60 a pull. And I get dealt 4 to the Royal in clubs, missing a jack of clubs.
Ooh, okay.
And I had this happen one other time this trip where I got dealt 4 to the Royal. I was with Michael Traeger at the time. And he said, not this one, but on the one before. And he said, should I video it? I'm like, no. I don't want bad luck or, don't video it.
It won't happen if you won't get it if you video it.
Anyway, so this one happened and I thought, and I didn't get the first one. So this one happened. I thought, do I want to take a picture or anything? I'm like, nope, I'm just going to pretend, I'm just going to say it's not going to happen. And lo and behold, on the 3rd line, the last hand you see, I hit the Royal.
Congrats.
And this was 2 times. So it was 4,000, 8,000 credits, but I was playing $2 a pull. So this was a $16,000
Royal. Josh, I was so happy for you when I heard that because I knew how bad the rest of the trip had been going financially. So you more than anybody at that point absolutely needed a big cash, I don't know.
Influx.
You needed a big
I needed
influx.
dough.
You needed money badly. I was so happy to hear that. And it just made me start thinking about just how absolutely insane it is. And I had to adjust one of our questions earlier in the episode.
Yes, you did.
Because patrons already knew this happened. But the odds of us both hitting a royal flush on the same trip is just absolutely insane.
Yeah, I just, the two of us, I mean, it hasn't happened for so many people we know. And
that have been playing video poker for a far, far longer period of time than us.
And for us to get the two, and yes, it came at just a really, really nice time for me. And it kind of feeds in, Chris, to that question we had a couple shows ago about when would you rather have a big hit, that kind of thing. I don't know if it changes my answer or not, but I'll tell you, getting a big hit when you were way down it felt so good.
Yes.
I mean, it took so much of the burden of being down off me. Full disclosure, it still was not a winning trip. This did not make it a winning trip, but it took a huge,
and here I am thinking on the other side, Josh, as we talk about that subject, if you would have hit that royal on your first day at Wynn, like Sunday afternoon,
right?
The odds of that money being around when you left on Tuesday, effectively zero.
Yeah, and I think it would have, I mean, of course it's nice to hit at the beginning and you have the money to play with, but
sure, if
you go into the assumption you're kind of just losing from that point on, then that takes away some of the fun too.
No, I agree with you on that.
But it was sure nice to hit it when I did, right?
Absolutely.
And so then we headed off. First of all, I ran around the high limit room screaming, not literally, but I did throw my arms up in the air and say, I got a royal flush, and nobody cared. And
not a single person cared.
Nobody cared.
The guy behind you just hit a $340,000 slot hit without even, making a sound.
It was still fun. And I texted Chris right away. I texted everybody I could think of. I texted Boring Jack. I texted James. I texted Sean. I'm texting every listener that I have contact information for. Like, posted on the Facebook group, but putting it everywhere.
And this is good because you weren't, you were happy for me, but not that happy when I hit my royal because you were just like, why can't I get that? And I understand that completely. I don't take that personally by any means, but it's really nice that we were both able to hit it on the same weekend. Although yours did pay twice as much as mine.
Yes. And don't think I will let you forget that.
No. So now I have to hit a royal for 24,000 to make it worthwhile.
You may have hit yours first by a day, but mine, it's like which twin is better.
Yes, exactly.
My royal flush came later, but it was for more. So that was kind of it. Then back to Tower Suites Bar for drinks again. I had one of those not martinis. Maybe it's a martini. I don't know, lemon drop. And then we had dinner with Michael Movestro and Marilyn and Michael and me at Wing Lei on Monday night.
I'm a Wing Lei fan.
Are you? I had never been there before. Again, the decor is fantastic. One of the cool things about Wynn, and this applies to Pisces, it's SW, it's Sinatra, Wynn owns all those restaurants. They're not like the ones you see in some of the other properties where they're owned by a third party and then, rented the space and all that kind of stuff. Wynn owns these restaurants. So Wynn puts a lot of control about, the decor and the menu, and it's all kind of what you would expect at a Wynn property. I liked Wing Lei a lot. Really good food, exquisite service. I didn't like it as much as Pisces. I mean, it was a great meal.
It doesn't sound like you're going to like anything as much as Pisces.
Right, exactly. It's the best.
There you go. Definitive answer for all our listeners.
Definitive answer. It was really funny, Chris. I don't know if you remember, but they have a kind of a glass Lazy Susan in the middle of the table. And so we'd been drinking a little bit towards the end of the meal.
If you've been drinking, it can be a little fun.
Well, we're getting up to leave or getting close to leaving. And I turned to Michael Movestro next to me and I said, I wonder how fast we can spin the wheel. And and he said, let's give it a try. And he
you should have recorded the sound effect, Josh, and it should be our new wheel sound at the end of the episode.
Well, stuff came flying off the wheel.
Oh, Jesus.
Or the Lazy Susan.
Well, so fast forward to the very end. Josh is no longer welcome at Wing Lei anymore.
No,
but I'm
not.
glad you enjoyed it while you were there.
So we had the jellyfish, we had the duck, we had some, I don't know, the stuff we had. Very good. My cocktail was wonderful. I really liked it. It was a really nice fine dining experience. I had to wear pants at both of these restaurants.
Yeah, of course.
But
well, I mean, I don't know, Josh. Did you have to wear pants over at Pisces? Because that's seaside
chic. Yes.
I mean, you could be seaside chic and some pants and some shorts, right?
Yeah, you get some nice boat shoes and some nice boating shorts. And
now, did they have yacht rock music playing the whole time you were there?
I can't remember what the music was. I don't think it was yacht rock, but we were outside they had the Lake of Dreams show. We saw the Lake of Dreams show.
Okay, so, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is fun. Anyway, those were the highlights of the trip. The Royal Flush obviously kind of made it just
that
amazing.
Kind of overshadows all the other things that happen.
Yeah.
Now, for your win component of the trip, taking out Venetian Palazzo's first couple days, did you win at Wynn? Did you make money there?
No, I definitely did not win at Wynn because I lost more on slots and craps
Than you made in video poker?
Right. I did
Okay.
win at video poker, and I think I won at video poker at Venetian Palazzo, although I'm not sure of that. I definitely won at video poker at Wynn.
Now, do
but
you
not
think on
enough
future
to-
trips now, you're just going to stick to video poker for the most part? Are
I'm
you
gonna
done with
tr-
slots? If I'm not there, you're not playing craps?
I think if you're not there, I'll still play some crap sessions because I did enjoy that again.
Okay.
Playing some more craps, especially at a place like Wynn, where I know the dealers and I'm
It makes it different. I agree.
Yeah. So I'll still play dice at Wynn and probably other places too. I think I don't have the same passion for Huff and even more Puff that I did before.
I mean, it did
And
financially drain you this trip, it seems.
It financially drained me. And it's also, I'm enjoying this video poker thing right now so much that, why not? It's a better, quote unquote, better way to spend the money. So
I mean, I will say at the end of the day, the reason I always liked slots and never really liked video poker is because I just didn't think, the only thing that would be really exciting at video poker, the way I was playing originally, would be to hit a royal flush.
Right.
So something that effectively is never going to happen, although it now has happened for both of us.
Right.
But playing Ultimate X and some of those other variants, especially incorporating double-double bonus and playing at higher denominations, you can get those hand pay level payments like you get on a bonus game at a slot machine more consistently, and there's not as much variance as, say, on a Huff and Puff machine.
Right. That's exactly right. And sometimes you'll be sitting there, I'll be playing video poker at even the $1 Ultimate X level for a while, and I'll be like, I haven't had a hand pay in forever. But then you'll get one and it'll be for $3,000 or whatever.
Well, and you're also just, thinking about the house edge on it. An average slot machine in Vegas is going to hold 8 to 12%, somewhere in that range, more than likely. That's what you're going to see. The average video poker machine, it could be 1, 2, at worst, 3% that they're holding.
Yeah.
So statistically, you're far better off to do that if you know what play to make.
That's a key. The other thing to think about is, and we haven't really touched on it, is tier credits and status and all the stuff that comes with
completely
playing
different.
video poker. Right. And I've decided, we'll see, easy to say and harder to do, but I'm going to try and play, as I play more video poker and less slots and maybe less craps, but at least less slots, it's going to impact my status. So we'll see what happens to my offers. I'll let you guys know.
No, I'm very interested to see what future offers look like for you, especially at Venetian Palazzo, now that you kind of eliminated some slot play from your trip. You still had some.
Yeah.
So it could change a little bit more, but I am curious to see what it looks like.
Venetian Palazzo, so far, I think I've gotten an offer since the trip, and it's the exact same as I had before. And nothing new from Wynn. I still have the same no free play, no slot dollars.
Well, to be fair, Josh,
right?
The offer that I get every month from them didn't have half the stuff they gave me last trip. So
yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Sometimes you just got to reach out to the host and see what he has to say. Okay, so after the break, we'll answer a couple listener questions and spin the big wheel. So stick around. Josh, we have a new sponsor this week, and I couldn't be more excited about it.
I'm super excited about it, and it came about very organically because we were using this before they became a sponsor.
Yep, and we were talking about it recently on an episode that would be funny if they sponsored us, and lo and behold, a week later, I got an email from them. Here we are. JoshVideoPoker.com is now an official sponsor of the Crap Vegas podcast. For those that aren't familiar, VideoPoker.com is the ultimate destination for video poker players. With paid memberships, you get exclusive training tools, real-time feedback on the plays that you're making, the most popular game variations out there. Whether you're trying to fine-tune your strategy or just take your game to the next level, VideoPoker.com has you covered.
You've heard Chris and I talk about it before this even came about. We love it. For training,
Absolutely.
I'm on it almost every day trying to train myself on stupid Ultimate X.
I have been too recently.
Exactly.
It's really cool because it will tell you, you've made the right decision on 87 out of 100 hands.
Right.
And it tells you exactly what you should have done if you make a mistake when you're making your choices. It keeps all that information historically for you so you can kind of go back and see how things are going. Josh, it's just a really good tool if you're going to be a serious video poker player. And as I start to get into it more, I feel like if I'm going to do this, it's like blackjack basic strategy. I need to know the best plays so I can eliminate the house edge as much as possible.
That is exactly right. I've been doing it almost nonstop on 3-line Ultimate X, and you can choose when you're going in and configuring your games. You can say, I want to play Ultimate X, I want to play double. I'm playing in a machine that's going to give me 9-5 or 8-5
you can
or
choose
whatever
the
it
pay
is.
table that you
Right,
want.
all that stuff.
Yeah, you can choose all that stuff. It is 100% customizable once you get into the paid higher levels of the plans. And even if you don't want to pay for it, I understand that. They have a free membership. You got to watch a couple ads before you get into the game. Still worthwhile doing at the beginning, and maybe you'll see, okay, this is something I like, so I want to upgrade. But either way, if you're ready to play over there, we'd love for you to go over to crapvegas.com/poker to get signed up. Start improving your edge today and get on a win.
That's right. That's crapvegas.com/poker.
Josh, Zorkfest 2025. It's coming up. It's in December. We have a location. We have activities. We have private tables. We got it all figured out at this point now.
We sure do. You can buy your tickets at zorkfest.com. It's December 5th through 7th, 2025 at M Resort and Casino. And we did find out, Chris, that the Raiders will be in town that weekend. So what that means, a couple things. Get your room booked first. You can do that through Zorkfest. They'll hook you up. More importantly than that, if you want to go to the game, you can go to the game on the Sunday of Zorkfest. Zorkfest has a little bit of programming on Sunday. That's going to be the special dinner on Sunday night. But you can also do the game if you want to. We might even have a little viewing thing. I'll be hosting a group pull, slot pull, that we haven't figured out any details yet, but I'll be hosting that. Most important thing I wanted to mention, Friday night of Zorkfest, that's December 5th, we have a reserve table, craps table, just for Crap Vegas patrons. So you can buy your Zorkfest ticket at zorkfest.com and add on that add-on for the private table if you're a patron of Crap Vegas. Tickets will go on sale for that. There's actually not going to be a charge, but you still have to kind of reserve a spot. Also, get your tickets for Coffee Dice on that Sunday morning.
Okay, guys, get on over to zorkfest.com, zorkfest.com. Okay, we got a question from Sarah. Sarah said, Chris, I am hurt that you didn't single me out on your most recent Vegas trip as a listener that you got to meet.
Oh.
I don't remember. I was the person who accidentally bumped into you walking in front of the high limit slot room and then didn't mention my name or that I was even a listener of your show. Sorry, was in a little shock that I literally ran into you. Anyways, question. Well, it's kind of hard to call you out when you don't introduce yourself, but hello, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
She actually
Didn't bump
knocked a
into
chip
me.
out of my hand when I was walking out of there. She said, anyways, question. Rank the following slots from best to worst. You ready, Josh?
Okay.
Even more Huff and Puff.
Okay.
Heidi and Hannah.
This sounds like a question for Josh more than Chris, but we'll see.
Piggy Bankin'.
Okay.
And Dragon Link. Love the show, and I'll remember to introduce myself next time. Thank you, Sarah. It's very nice to meet you, even in that awkward manner. But Josh, rank those 4 slots for me.
Great question, Sarah. I'm gonna assume this is like what I like the most. So I like Huff and Even More Puff. I love getting the upgrade wheel. I think that's the most fun ever. And I'm saying it kind of bitterly because I pour thousands of dollars into the thing looking for the stupid upgrade wheel. And I'd play that new one with the 3 wheels. By the way, they have it at Wynn, but it's one of those big, huge, like 3-seaters with a big awkward button to hit. And
so you need neither with you to sit next to you.
Yeah, we need a few drinks after the gondola ride and so on. But
gotcha.
It wasn't very much fun. So I played mostly Huff and Even More Puff. I really like that game. That game's a lot of fun for me. I've always had a hot spot for piggy banking. I think it's probably, and I call it the piggy machine. I think it's probably because the first time I ever played it, Chris, was in the Wynn high limit room.
Oh, okay.
And I wasn't a high limit player. And I found like it must, I played for $10 a spin, which for me at the time was a lot. And I hit a couple bonuses and I won like $4,500 or something. So I've always liked that machine. Of course, I won the first time I ever played it, as is so common for a lot
make it
of
one
us,
of your
right?
favorites quickly.
Heidi and Hannah, really soft spot for.
Yeah.
It will always be. I mean, it's still the biggest ratio wise, the biggest slot win I ever had was $2.70 at Bellagio. I hit for almost $6,000. So a great hit on a $2.70 spin. That was on free play, which was even cooler. Dragon Link, I like. I don't play it a ton. I know, a lot of our listeners love it. And I think, Chris, you play it more often than I do.
I play it
What
a
do you
lot.
think of this list?
Yeah, if I had to rank these 4 nowadays, Josh, I would say Dragon Link number 1, Piggy Bankin' number 2, Heidi and Hannah 3, or Hannah.
I thought you were going there, right? Hannah.
And I would
Hannah.
say Even More Huff and Puff or Huff It Even More Puff, whatever it is, I would put that at 4. It's a fun game. And yes, when you hit those super mega awesome bonuses,
right,
it can be an awesome game. But the problem is if you don't hit one of those, you're screwed. And I prefer games that give you, more frequent jackpots, as most people probably do.
Yeah.
Second question, Josh. We got a question from Eric over on the CV Facebook group. He said, good afternoon. I'm wondering if low-level play at the MGM property where I live, so he lives in Massachusetts, if that will affect his future MGM offers for Vegas. Thanks for any insight.
So good question, Eric. So you're probably playing MGM Springfield, if I remember my MGM properties right. I honestly don't know, and Chris, I'll probably defer to you on this, how regional MGM play affects your Vegas offers. I mean, I know Caesars it does.
It can.
Caesars, if you play, regionally, that they'll definitely throw in Vegas offers based on that. But I don't know about MGM.
I mean, here's what I've always found in the past when it came to Caesars and MGM. Playing locally generates Vegas offers. Absolutely.
Right.
So you get on their radar. They kind of know what kind of level player you are, and they'll give you a Vegas offer based off that. However, once you've established yourself as a Vegas player and taken a trip or two, and they see what your play is out there, your Vegas offers are far more affected by what you did in Vegas than ever what you did at home. And that's for good reason, because they know a locals casino, you're not going to stay as long. You're not spending a weekend. You're probably going for an hour or two. So they really don't want to punish you very much. But if they see that your trip when you go to Vegas is for 3 days and you have an ADT of $1,200 there and your local ADT is only $300, you're usually going to get credit for the much bigger ADT while you're in Vegas. And it all depends on what kind of player you are. Are you a hosted player versus not a hosted player? Like we've specifically been told by multiple properties that they don't even care what your ADT is when you're a hosted player. It's all trip Theo. So as long as you're, whatever you do for the trip is all they care about. So, like for players like us, if we want to play the last day we're there for 10 minutes, it's meaningless. It doesn't hurt us at all because the only thing they look at is the trip, not the daily. But for an average player that maybe isn't a hosted player, that's not the case.
Great question, Eric. And Chris, I'm glad you were able to help some.
I tried my best. Okay, let's keep it going. Patreon. That's patreon.com/crapvegas. What do we have new over there, Josh?
Well, Chris, if memory serves, we did our last show on the Great Debate. Our last CVP show, The Great Debate.
Okay.
Bellagio versus Excalibur. No, Bellagio versus Wynn.
That's the two. Those are usually the ones fighting against each other.
Exactly. No, we talked a lot about, there's been a lot of back and forth on Twitter, and of course you always hear it, but somebody made an argument on Twitter that Bellagio was a better property for their money, and they were very definitive in that opinion and gave some good bullet points. So Chris and I, on the last CVP show, worked through those bullet points and talked about our thoughts on which is better, Wynn or Bellagio.
There's not every property you and I can give educated opinions on. There are certain properties that we don't visit very much and we probably shouldn't talk about.
Right.
But when it comes to higher end properties in Vegas, I feel like you and I have spent a lot of time at these places. We've been hosted players at them. We've stayed in most of their different room types. We've ate at most of the restaurants. I feel like we can give an educated opinion on this.
Yeah. So that was a really fun discussion over there. We love your support over on Patreon. It really means a lot to us. A couple different levels you can support us. If you want to see this here show in video format, unedited, it's a lot of fun. People like that, that's our top level to support us. You can, of course, get all of our regular CVP shows over at the lower level on Patreon. And as we always mention, it's ad-free over there if that's something that's important to you.
Yeah, so a special thank you to the people that signed up the past couple weeks. That is Michael B., Teddy 2 with the KCS membership, Emiliano D., and Double Dave with the KCS membership. So thank you to you guys over the past couple weeks.
Thank you guys very much. It means a lot to us.
Upcoming trips, Josh. I think I said on the last episode, we were going to meet up sometime in mid to late June, and you looked at me like I was an idiot. So it sounds like we're going to meet up sometime in July, early August.
Yeah, July, August timeframe is most likely. There's a couple different trips I've got kind of my, irons in the fire for to, maybe July, maybe August, October, Zorkfest for sure. So there'll be 2, 3, 4 more trips before the end of the year, I think.
Yeah, see, I don't think I have that many left. There's just so much going on right now. I hope I can get back out there at least twice more.
Right.
I was looking at things. If you remember correctly, I'm like 1,000 points away from Diamond at Venetian.
If you not hit, I'm I'm Diamond 4 times over.
Well, remember, I only went for that one day and hit 49,000 tier credits. I need to get back over for a trip and hit that. And I want to take care of the very generous offer that they gave me right now as well while I'm there. And then I kind of want to hit Wynn Black again this year is because I really do love playing there. I need to make at least 2 more trips to make that happen unless I go for a really extended trip. So and my goal is for the remainder of the year to get 3 more trips in, 1 to Venetian Palazzo, 2 more to Wynn. I just got to figure out when to do it.
I like it. It's a good plan.
I think so. Unfortunately, MGM, that means you guys were left out this year. I apologize.
Yeah, and we haven't talked about it, but we should spend just a second, Chris, on, this having been my first trip back to Wynn in over a year. So what's our hierarchy going to be now? So, and I say that rhetorically more than anything. What's my hierarchy going to be? Because I think I know yours. You just said it. It's going to be
Venetian.
It's going to be Wynn, right?
Yeah.
And so for me, it's a question of, do I want to, so I don't think my play supports, at least to get statuses and things like that. My play really doesn't support 3 different property groups, and I don't want to spread myself out that way.
Yeah, I'm done with 3 too.
Yeah, I think it's going to probably be, MGM Aria that goes by the wayside, at least for a time for me, because it was nice to be back at Wynn. Wynn has a lot of things I really enjoy. I really love the employees there. It was nice to see the dealers we know. I also really like that high limit space, especially for video poker. I had the drink service is fantastic. They don't have a video poker bar that I like, but I can live without that. So I think Wynn is going to still be my kind of second property, with VP being number 1 for me at the moment.
Okay, that makes sense to me. Friendly reminder to subscribe and leave a review on your favorite podcasting app, and to visit our merch store. That's crapvegas.com/shop. Josh, we made it all the way to the end, which can mean nothing else other than the CV Big Wheel.
That it can.
It's time to spin the Crap Vegas Big Wheel. Are you ready? Josh, spin the wheel.
Oh, Chris. All right. Here's an interesting one. When you think of unique or uniquely Vegas restaurants, what are some that come to your head?
Uniquely Vegas restaurants.
Yeah. I'm thinking I'll kind of lead you a little bit while you're thinking.
Like I don't know why, but the only one that even comes to my head is Batista's.
Well, funny you should mention that, Chris. This is unprompted. That's the one that the wheel landed on.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that's 2 weeks in a row. I got the National Notary Convention last time. And this one I picked the right
you got
restaurant.
Batista's.
Okay,
so did
cool.
you see that Batista's closed?
I did, for remodeling, right?
Yeah. And so there was some question
It needed
about
a remodel, so.
Yeah. There was some question about when, if they were going to reopen. There was a lot of speculation that might be it for Batista's. Well, they have made it clear that they will be opening at the end of June.
Okay, cool.
Again. And I am curious to see, to your point, what is the remodel of Batista's going to look like?
I mean, it is a hole in the wall. You can't make it too fancy.
I was going to lead with, do we have a hole in our heart?
So poetic.
I know. What other iconic Vegas, like uniquely Vegas restaurants? Golden Steer?
Yeah, I would say so. And then I think you would also include things like Mayfair Supper Club and Delilah. Because it's rare, I think. Those kind of dinner clubs, Josh, that's kind of a Vegas thing.
Yeah, I know. I was kind of thinking of like outside of the, I think you're right, but I was thinking of outside the main properties. Like,
I got you.
This Peppermill?
Peppermill, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good. I always
love
like
it. Frozen custard.
Absolutely.
Go to crapvegas.com/love it. No, don't do that.
Golly, if that was on your bingo card, we haven't talked about Love It in
It's been a while, right?
I mean, probably a year or more.
Hopefully it's still there. I don't know if it is or not.
Yeah, no
Maybe
guarantees.
it's closed for remodeling. Anyway, that was it. Just a quick note on Batista's. You guessed it. So there we go.
Good. Anything else this
spin
week,
the wheel.
Josh?
Yeah, let's give the wheel. Well, I mean, I don't know. We'll see what comes up on the wheel.
Does it occasionally spin and have nothing on it when it lands there?
It might hit the same story. It might just be
Clunk.
Batista's again.
Okay. Chris, have you heard about that restaurant that remodeled?
Sometimes the wheel hits the same number back to back.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, it can.
Oh, Chris, this is one that you probably, I don't know where you're going to side with this one.
Okay.
So an unfortunate event happened at the Orleans. I think it was in April. And I'm
Okay.
curious. So one of their guests got stuck in an elevator.
Oh, that is unfortunate. Especially
Yeah.
if you're claustrophobic.
Yeah. Have you ever been stuck in an elevator?
I have not before, thankfully.
Me either. We've had sometimes this is at my old building, not the building we're currently in my office, but you'd get in the elevator sometimes, the door would close and it wouldn't go anywhere.
Yeah, I've had that before.
And
yeah.
then it would just open again. Well,
Yeah,
when
you're
that
like,
happens,
okay, I
I get
guess I'm
right
getting
off.
off here, yeah.
I'm like, I'm not
Yeah,
staying
I'm
on
done.
that thing. I don't know what's going to happen. Anyway, the guest was stuck for over an hour and is suing the Orleans. The reason it made the news is they filed a lawsuit, negligent operation and whatever of their machinery and things. And I thought, the first thought is of course they're suing the property for it.
Sure.
Is being stuck in an elevator really lawsuit worthy
Not in my eyes.
for an hour? Yeah, I mean, it's
I think we've talked about this before on this show for some reason. because I remember having the conversation with you about, obviously, the first thing you do when you get stuck in an elevator for an extended period of time is establish a pee corner. That's the most important thing that you have to do. I feel like we've talked about this.
We have. I don't know why, but
it all comes from an Office episode. But anyway,
no, but I mean, I don't know why we talked about it before.
I don't either. I don't remember. But that being said, yeah, I don't think that is lawsuit worthy. I mean, Josh, you're a litigious person. Do you think somebody should be
person? I'm not even that kind of lawyer. No, I mean, I guess there's, if you had somebody that suffered a heart attack or whatever, maybe fine. But this just seems like, no offense to our attorneys that are personal injury attorneys. I mean, our listeners that are personal injury attorneys and that kind of thing. But it just seems like pretty ambulance chasey to me.
I mean, the only thing I would say is, like, my mom is claustrophobic.
Right.
And so I finally got her to the point where I can get her on an elevator with me if it's like 1 floor or 2 floors and it's going to go quick.
Oh, wow. She's
and
that claustrophobic.
Like I've been able to get her to that point. Like, she won't fly anywhere.
Wow. Okay.
Like she doesn't take big vacations or anything. If she can't drive there, she won't go because of her claustrophobia.
Right.
But that being said, like, I'm thinking, if I somehow convinced my mom to get on an elevator and it then in turn got stuck for an hour, like with her, that would actually do significant like damage. So that actually could have a massive effect on her as a person. You and I, we would just sit there and play on our phones and go to videopoker.com and play on their app or something.
Right, exactly.
But for her, that would be a massive, like, she could have a panic attack. So there could be some serious side effects of that happening.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be opposed to a lawsuit in that situation, although they had, no control over that. But, it's like the intent follows the bullet.
Yes.
The moment that thing broke, that was, they had to take every passenger that was on there as who they are. So that would stink. But for the average person, I would say, no, that's a little much.
Okay. So I'm going to run us down a totally different track here.
Okay.
So it reminds me of in law school, we learned about, and for any lawyers that are listening, I could be getting the facts of this case all wrong, but this is my memory. We learned about a case that some small town in the U.S., I don't remember where some guys went out and got drunk and stole a train.
Okay. That happens a lot.
Exactly. The locomotive,
this could be any small town in America.
So they got to wherever they wanted, and they took it with intent to go to wherever they wanted to go. Like, their house, a few blocks away. I'm just making up but like that. They had some place close by they wanted to go. So they stole this train engine, and they got to where they were going, and they thought, we should send the train back.
Okay.
So they put the train in reverse, put the locomotive in reverse, and sent it backwards towards wherever. And the train then derailed and crashed and did whatever damage it did.
Sure.
And the question was, did they have intent to derail a train, which was the crime? There was other crimes that they were, but did they intend to crash the train and do whatever? And I think that the holding in the case was one intends the natural and probable consequences of their actions. So they said, when you send a train unmanned in reverse backwards down the track, you intend whatever to write.
Sure. Yeah.
Anyway.
No, I think it's along the same lines of what I was saying. If you fire a bullet, it's going to hit something and something's going to happen. And you just have to live with those consequences.
Anyway, I always remember that case, and hopefully I remember it right. Some people will know.
America, trains getting stolen left and right. I mean, it's a big issue.
That and cow tipping.
I mean, you just put the key right in the ignition and turn it and just hit the button, right? And the train just drives
I don't even
itself.
think I've ever been in a train locomotive.
I don't think I have either. Josh, anything else on the wheel this time?
That's it for the wheel. Just a couple quick spins today.
I understand. Anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here?
No, I'm still, playing video poker like crazy, honing my, what do you call it? Keeping your chops up, as my dad, the musician, would say. And
I've been doing that a lot more recently myself. So yeah,
I hit a royal on the training mode the other day.
Oh, see, that would be frustrating to me. I'd be like, I blew my 1 out of 450,000 chance on something.
You who believes in wasting rolls at a craps table. Like, it's the same kind of thing, right?
Same exact thing. Josh, this has been a ton of fun. I look forward to catching up with you again soon. But until then, thank you all for listening.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Vegas, here we come.
Thanks for listening to the Crap Vegas podcast.
Have you ever been to Vegas?
Check out all our recent news and our Vegas trip calendar by visiting crapvegas.com.
See you in Vegas.
Where do you go from?
I don't know. Where the fuck do you go? Metamucil. Oh, okay.
Great nuts, whatever.
Okay. Yes, the 1 week trial is still available. We'd love to have you check it out, see if you like it. It's all ad free over there. You don't have to listen to us moan about stuff, or I don't know. It's so much cooler over there.
Don't have
Josh.
to listen to us moan about stuff.
I don't know. I don't know where I was going with this. Here, cut it out. I don't know. Here. That's what we do. Perfect.
Perfect.